Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. It's so good to be back, man. I missed y'all, man. 1 week break felt like forever. Man, I'm so glad to be back and I missed you guys so much. Welcome back, everybody. For those of us that are joining us for the first time, welcome to the podcast. This is the Identity Crisis Podcast, where we'll peel back the layers of who we are, who we've been told to be, and who we are becoming. I'm your host. My name is Ranye. And today's we are going to be talking about something very, very important, something that is has become so much in our society. And basically, I titled today's episode, "No Be Me Kill Jesus." Now, before you tune out or assume this is solely a religious discussion, pause. While the phrase itself carries a specific cultural and potentially religious weight, the feeling behind it is universal. It's about guilt. It's about shame. It's about how many of us carry the weight of things we didn't cause, can't fix, and we were never meant to hold. So when we say, "No be me kill Jesus," what we are really saying is, why do I keep being blamed for something I didn't do? Why do I have to carry everyone's expectations, disappointments, and ideals on my back? Why do I feel this persistent weight of guilt that doesn't truly belong to me? So let's dig deep and talk about it. Guilt has become second nature for so many of us, right? You feel bad for not being enough. You feel guilty for setting boundaries. You apologize for resting. You shrink yourself to make others feel comfortable. And it's not always religion doing the guilting. Sometimes it's culture with its unspoken rules and expectations. Sometimes it's family dynamics where blame and responsibility are unfairly distributed. Social media with its highlight reels, fuels the guilt of not measuring up. The workplace can breed guilt for taking time off. Friendships can carry the weight of unspoken expectations. Even our own inner critic, often a reflection of past criticism, keeps the cycle going. It's this voice that whispers, or sometimes even shouts, you should have done more. You should have known better. You are the reason things fell apart. Now, these messages, repeated over time, become internalized seeds of guilt, shaping how we see ourselves and interact with the world. And the constant carrying of this weight takes a real toll, both emotionally, mentally, and even physically. Let's even talk about the weight of blame, right? You ever found yourself apologizing for something that had nothing to do with you? Like someone else drops the ball and you end up feeling like you failed, or you are carrying emotional baggage, the unprocessed pain, the disappointment, the unresolved conflicts that your parents, your church, your school system, your boss handed to you, and oftentimes unintentionally, right? This can manifest as a deep-seated feeling of responsibility for others' emotions or outcomes, right? That's where "No Be Me Kill Jesus," right, resonates so deeply, right? It's the resistance to being blamed for something you didn't do. It's the refusal to keep absorbing shame that was never meant for you in the first place, right? Shame around your identity, your choices, or even your existence. Some of us have internalized blame so deeply, we punish ourselves even before anyone else has the chance, right? We anticipate judgment and preemptively carry the weight. Here's the thing: accountability and guilt aren't the same, right? Being responsible for your actions doesn't mean carrying everyone's burden. Being self aware of your shortcomings doesn't mean you never get to breathe or extend grace to yourself. You're allowed to grow without constantly beating yourself up, for past mistakes or perceived failures. You are allowed to make mistakes without turning them into your entire identity. See, mistakes are learning opportunities, not life sentences of shame. You are allowed to heal, even if the world around you hasn't acknowledged the pain you've carried. And sometimes that healing involves forgiving yourself. And when possible, forgiving those who placed those unfair burdens upon you. Um, Forgiveness isn't about condoning actions, but about releasing your own emotional shackles. Some people won't be comfortable with your freedom. Some systems, whether personal or societal, depend on your internalized shame to maintain control. But you get to say, no be me kill Jesus. I will not keep carrying weight that was never mine. My responsibility lies in my own actions and growth, not in perpetually atoning for the real or um, imagined sins of others. So I want you to sit with this today. Ask yourself, what guilt or blame am I holding that isn't really mine? Right? And if possible, trace its origin. If you can, trace its origin. Um, Also, ask yourself, who taught me, whether directly or indirectly, to apologize for simply existing or being imperfect? Also, what would it look like, feel like, to live free? From this unending shame and, from the constant need to perform, um, even from the impossible pursuit of perfection, basically. Just what would it feel like, or what would it look like to live free of those? And I want you to start small. Maybe it's saying no without the lengthy explanation or the immediate guilt trip. Maybe it's consciously choosing not to overthink that one mistake from 5 years ago that's still haunts you. Maybe it's trusting that you are allowed to be a work in progress, deserving of kindness and self-compassion. Consider also what small act of forgiveness, specifically self-forgiveness, can you extend to yourself this week. So as we wrap up this episode, I need you to know you didn't kill Jesus. You didn't break the world. You are not here to carry every broken thing on your back. You are here to live, to grow, to be human, with all the imperfections that come with it. You are here to heal from the burdens you've carried. Ask better questions of yourself and the world around you. You are here to show up with your full self, even if it's messy, and even if it's still healing. Okay? So, I really want to thank you for being here with me for this episode. If this spoke to you, please share it with someone who needs to hear this message of liberation. Leave a review, follow the podcast, and let's keep building this space of honest exploration together. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. You are allowed to let go of what was never yours. I'm Ranye, and this is the Identity Crisis Podcast. Peace.